This video is intended to give a quick introduction to code blocks. Let's go ahead and get it started. I have it showing over here in my start menu. Let me just open it. Now when the program opens, we see the first thing, the tip of the day. You can actually disable this if you want to. You can just close it every time it comes up. You can look at the next tip. Lots of things that you can look at. You might want to read through that. Let's just close it up for now. And we have this main splash page. The tab is Start here, and we have these various things that we can do. We can open an existing project, but we don't have one started yet. But once we have one, we can use this to get it started, or we can create a new project. Another thing that you can do is go to File and do the same thing, a new project, or you can actually open an existing project. Let's use this feature right here to create a new project. The kind of projects that we'll use in this class all the time will be console applications. So we'll select that and then press go. You get this wizard that walks you through how to set up that kind of project. We won't skip this page the next time. We'll go ahead and have this. I think it's okay. It will be a C++ project, and we'll give it a name. This one here will give a first project. Now I have this folder already set up. I have a folder I call Ray Stuff, and then inside that I've got code blocks, and then I have a demo directory under that. Under that will be a folder created called First Project, and then the code will be created under that. So here's the resulting file name. If we scroll over to the right, you can see what it'll be. So demo, a directory called First Project, and then firstproject.cbp. And that's the project file name. And one of the things that you get from opening a project is the ability to debug your program. That'll become important later. I'll talk about that in the future demo. But just realize that you have it. Without a project, you won't have it. You can use code blocks without a project, but we'll want to use projects from here on out. If you finish, then the project is actually built. You see the file structure over here on the side, and I've got a window up here with that same folder, and there it is. Under the demo, we got our first project. We can click on the first project and see there's that firstproject.cbp that was listed in the wizard. And look at here, we got a file called main.cpp. Now that's going to be important to us. It's also showing over here under source. There's the main.cpp. If you click on it, it'll show up in the editing pane. Now I want to draw your attention to the code companion in chapter 2. Look, example program 2-1. Doesn't that look amazingly the same? Or very darn similar. If you want to doctor it a little bit, that would be fine to make it exactly the same. I'm just going to use it as it is, and I'll show you how to compile and run the program. You go up to the build menu, click that and press build. Down here there's some action happening under the build log, and we'll see here that the process terminated with status as 0. That's a good indicator, so don't be alarmed that it was terminated. Okay, it made it through okay. It had 0 errors, 0 warnings, and here's the amount of time that it took. So now that it's built, we can actually go over and look at that folder. We see that we've got some extra directories here. One's called bin, one's called obj. So let's just take a quick look at them and see what happened, because these were actually built during the compile step. Under bin, there's nothing but a debug folder. We look at the debug folder and we have firstproject.exe. That's a good file. We'll use that and we can actually execute the program from that. Under the object folder, we'll see that there's one folder or directory under that, and it's got a main.o. That's the object file. That's the compiled code. But the executable code is actually here under debug. And this debug is important. I told you before we'll be able to debug the program. I'll show you that later in another demo. let's put this aside for a minute. I want to show you how to execute the program from within CodeBlocks. If you go back over here to build, you can hit run, and the program runs. There it says hello world. Then it says the process returns 0. That means it ended. Press any key to continue. So if I push enter, this window will close. Okay, so that's the program. Your first program's already written. Didn't even have to lift a finger other than click the mouse a few times. So let's go back over here to this window and we'll look at debug. Now see this first project.exe. That's actually an executable file. If we right mouse click on that and open it, the file will actually execute. And I want you to take a quick look at what happens. You may not have seen that. The little DOS window came up and disappeared as soon as it came up. That can be quite frustrating, and we need to do one small modification to the code to make that linger a little bit longer. So let's go over here. All we have to do, and I mentioned this in the instructions online, you put in here system quote capital pause and end quote, and you see that the closing quote and the closing parenthesis has been put in there automatically. I just have to put a semicolon on the end and we're back in business. Anytime you make a change to the program, you have to build it again. So let's go ahead and build that. Down here we see this action. Okay, we have a problem, and the problem is that we're missing an include file. We left out this extra include for the C standard library that allows us to use system pause. So we'll need to make sure that we have this line in all our programs again if we want to use this system pause. Now let me show you again what it does. So if we go ahead and build, okay, it built now. Okay, so here's our first project now. If we right mouse click on it and we open it, there we are. Hello world, press any key to continue. There we go. So it works both inside and outside the code blocks. So there you go. That's how to get started with CodeBlocks. Make sure it's working for you. You've created your first project and we're well on our way. Thanks for watching.